Hello everybody, welcome in. Big here from MoneyLoadNation.com, your home for everything money load. What's up guys? Welcome back to another video. Welcome back to the Money Load YouTube channel. And today we have our week 4 NFL reactions. And I do apologize that this video is coming out way later than I expected to be. But I was kind of feeling down today and I just needed a moment to myself to cool down. And that normally gets me cool down, so I apologize. I apologize to you guys about the wait of this video, but we're still here. We're still here on a very late Tuesday. I'm gonna get this done so we can go ahead and move on to next week. So I have to do my NFL predictions tomorrow. So yeah, so this basically we're back at the tier list: F tier, D tier, C tier, B tier, A tier, S tier. We all know how we do reactions, but we're actually going to look at the stats this time. So what I'm going to do here. So our first game was between the Lions and the Packers on Thursday Night Football. I'm gonna give the Lions. I'm gonna give the Lions I'm gonna give the Lions a A tier, and I'll give the Packers a C tier. So just starting off with the Lions, I just think they really performed well. Jared Goff had an okay day. Set 19 for 28, 212 yards, a touchdown, and a pick. David Montgomery was really good in this game. I really like the Detroit offense in this game as well. Amari St. Brown did pretty good. Even you can even get some credit to Detroit's defense. Like the Lions' defense is actually not that bad. I actually give a lot of credit to them. They get an A tier for me. Meanwhile, for the Packers, not a really bad performance out of them either. Jordan Love wasn't too bad, but he threw two costly picks. Aaron Jones, he was kind of silent, 5 carries for 18 yards. That was also kind of silent, and their defense really got smacked in the mouth, as you can see there. So not a really bad performance out of the Packers, but I just wanted to see more out of them. All right, next up we have the Falcons and the Jags. I'm gonna give the Falcons an F tier, and we're gonna put Jacksonville in we'll put them in the B tier. All right, so starting off with the Jags. Hold on, I need to find this game. Okay, there it is. So yeah, just to start off with the Falcons, they really just got smacked in this game altogether, 7-23. They really just got smacked. Desmond Ridder didn't even perform that good. Really nobody really performed good from the Packers. So I bet for the Falcons. So I can't really say nothing about the Falcons in this game. But look at the Jags. This is a good bounce back performance out of them if they want confidence head into the future. Trevor Lawrence, he wasn't that bad in this game. 22 of 23, 207 and a touchdown. Yeah, I just like the Jacksonville offense. I like how they really bounced back in this game, and yeah, I mean, I don't really have too much to say about the Jags either. I think they just bounced back in a good way. So yeah, that's all I got for them. All right, next up we have Miami and the Bills. I'm gonna give Miami a C tier, and obviously I get the Buffalo in S tier. We have a couple of things to talk about in this game. All right, let me find it. Oh, here it is. All right, so starting off with Miami, not the best performance. Probably, even though you guys have been really good, this is probably your worst performance this year. But it's nowhere near from having one of the worst performances of the year out of all teams. So it's nowhere near close. But I just feel like as the season went by for you guys, I think this is your worst performance, and I think you guys can agree from there. Tua didn't even play that bad. Like 220, 25, 282, a touchdown and the pick. Um, Davion Chain, he was really good. 8 for 101. Tyreek Hill was kind of shut down. Only one reception for 14 yards. Monster was kind of quiet in this game. Seven carries, for only 9 yards. I mean, even receiving wise, Tyreek Hill was still shut up. Just 3 for 58. That's not characteristic of him. Yeah, Raheem Monster, he lost 2 fumbles. That almost cost me a fantasy this week. And luckily my fantasy team did win, and Miami's defense couldn't really stop the Buffalo at all. So I give a lot of guys. So I give some credit to Miami on offensive end, but their defense couldn't do shit in this game. And then we want to talk about the Bills. Just Josh Allen just completely went off, and I accidentally benched him for no reason. 21 for 25, 4 touchdowns, 320 yards. Like, I don't know if Josh Allen can have a better performance than that. He even had 4 carries for 17 yards, and the rushing wasn't really that good, as you can see up here on the screen. But Stephon Diggs had a good night. Um, Obviously with with 3 TDs. Gabe Davis even had a touchdown. And then their defense did really good as well. They had a couple sacks, and you can see there a couple interceptions there. So I give a lot of credit to the Bills defense. I think they played this game exactly what they wanted to. I think I said what twice, but whatever. All right, next up we have Baltimore at Cleveland. I think this game is pretty obvious if you're asking me. Ravens get an A tier and Browns get an F tier. All right, so first of all, I wasn't really expecting Desmond Ritter to be out in this game for the Browns, but we're gonna talk about the Ravens first. Ravens looked very clean in this game. This is a pick I got wrong. The Ravens, like I said, they just looked clean. Lamar Jackson had a good game, as you can see there. Um, and Baltimore's rushing wasn't really that productive, and that's the only reason why I'm giving them an A tier. But besides that, I think they did everything else right. I think they really even the receiving wasn't even that bad for Baltimore, and their defense continues to impress me with the sacks, and so they got like 4 or 5 sacks. They have a couple quarterback hits and a couple tackles. So yeah, this was definitely a good performance out of the Baltimore Ravens, offensively and defensively. And then meanwhile for the Browns, without Deshaun Watson, I knew you guys were going to lose this game. I just didn't actually think he was going to be out. If he was out, I would have picked the Ravens to win this game, but I didn't. So I had to keep it to pick, even though I got this one wrong. Yeah, this was just a bad game for just Cleveland all around. Like, I don't think there's really anything to look at here if you're asking me about the Cleveland Browns. Even I mean the defense did all right, but it's not enough credit for me to put them out the F tier, so they get that from me. All right, next up we have Denver and the Bears, and I think both of these two teams get B's. All right, so starting off with Denver, Russell Wilson continues to play well. 21 from 28, 323, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. That man is really playing well this year. Even though the team has had it, he's been playing well. Rushing, not bad. 7 for 23, 4 for 13. Russell Wilson, that's not bad. Receiving was okay. Yeah, it wasn't the best though. Like only 3 receptions is your highest number. Like, come on now, 52 yards. Overall, it was a good decent performance out of Denver. They were getting their asses kicked in this game, but at least they came back and won this game for me. So I do give Denver some credit on that end. So. And as you can see, Denver's defense really stepped it up in the second half. As you can see over here, Chicago has scored 7 points in the second half. So good job, Denver's defense for coming back in the end. Meanwhile, for the Bears, I know Justin Fields probably has Justin Fields just had one of his better performances: 28 for 35, 335, 4 touchdowns in the pick, and that costly pick at the end. Rushing was really not that good. Receiving wasn't outstanding besides DJ Moore and Cole Kmet. Besides them two, I don't think Chicago's offense didn't really do a lot of nothing, and their defense did good in the first half, but then it got waxed in the second half, and you guys blew a 21-point lead. So you guys should be ashamed of yourself. All right, next up we have the Steelers and the Texans, and I think that's another obvious one. Steelers get an F tier, and the Texans get an A tier. All right, so starting off with the Steelers, I don't think there's really anything to see in the box score about the Pittsburgh Steelers. Even though Kenny Pickett did get injured, and that is kind of concerning for the Steelers. He still didn't have that bad of a game. 15, 414. He threw a pick, but it was a really bad pick. But there's just really nothing to really look here at Pittsburgh. I think they just got their asses whacked in this game, and yeah, I mean, there's like even the defense didn't really perform that good in this game, but they had no sacks, like only forced fumbles, and yeah, I don't think the Steelers really play. There's really nothing to look at the Steelers. Meanwhile, looking at the Texans, C.J. Stroud continues to impress me. 16 for 30, 2 touchdowns, and 306. Rushing game wasn't really that good for the Houston. Even though receiving was kind of good, Nico Collins, I don't know who the hell this guy is, but he has 7 for 128. That's pretty good. They got a little bit careless with the ball right there. That's why I have to give them a little bit slight edge. But besides that, their defense played amazing and their offense played amazing. Besides, they got a little bit careless with the ball, which is what you do expect out of the Pittsburgh defense. But once again, Houston absolutely dominated this game. All right, next up we got the Rams at the Colts. Both of these two teams get beats. So starting. Actually, no. I'm gonna put the Rams in that. So started with Matthew Stafford. They had 27 for 40, not bad. 319, a touchdown and an interception. Rushing, Kyren Williams had a really good game. 25 yards for 1 of 3 and 2 TDs. Puka continues to impress everybody. 9 for 123 and a touchdown. And a game-winning touchdown, I should say. Even though the Rams, I gotta put the Rams back to B, right? Yeah, I'm gonna put them back to B. But even though the Rams almost lost this game, I think their offense really did a good job at bouncing back in this game. Once again, a little bit careless with the ball. Well, not really. Kyren Williams had a fumble, which is another part of my fantasy team that we almost lost. But luckily, we were able to cover that. Aaron Donald is literally a defensive monster. And I give a lot of credit to that Rams defense in the first half, but Colts started outworking them in the second half. So that takes a couple points away. Meanwhile, look at the Colts. Anthony Richardson, clean game, as you can see there. Rushing wasn't too good for them. Receiving, I'll tell you, he did pretty good. 3 for 48. Fumbles, they did get a little bit careless with the ball against the Rams. And their defense once again got outworked in the first half, but I'm a Rams fan saying this, but the Colts did a really good job against our offense in the second half. So I give them a lot of credit towards that. All right, next up we have the Buccaneers at the Saints. I think I'm definitely getting the Buccaneers in A tier, but I don't know about the Saints. Saints are like either F or D to me. I'm gonna give them an F. No. Like, how much did the Buccaneers score again? How much did the Buccaneers score? 26? Sure. We'll go D tier. Alright, so starting off with the Buccaneers, they proved me wrong in a big way. Baker Mayfield continues to play outstanding football besides that pick, but he also had a really good game. Rushing was not terrible for them. Chris Godwin did really good, 8 for 14. Defense really impressed me. So for the Saints, their offense still looks slow. It doesn't really look that good. Derek Carr, even though he had 20-37, didn't throw a touchdown or a pick. James Winston, for his first pass was an interception. Al Kamara didn't really look that sharp in his return. Receiving wasn't really that good for New Orleans, and their defense just got outworked the entire game. All right, next up we have Washington and Philadelphia, and I know Philadelphia won this game, but both these two teams get an A for me, because this game was amazing to watch. Honestly, I was glad that Washington was able to put up a fight, but at the same time they lost the game. So we can just talk about these two teams together because they both had like equal stats. Jalen Hurts, Sam Howell, not bad performances. I will say on the Washington side of things, they did really. Actually, I should talk about it this way for now. Washington, they did not really have to go on the running game, while Philadelphia kind of did. Receiving, you give a lot of credit to Terry McLaurin in this game, 8 for 86. I thought he had a touchdown, but he didn't. Philadelphia's receiving, A.J. Brown was absolutely phenomenal, 9 for 137. Jonathan Swift wasn't even that bad, 7 for 78. And both defenses really came in huge spots when they really needed. So this was definitely a clean game out of these two. All right, next we have the Bengals and the Titans. Bengals F, Titans A. All right, so there's really nothing to talk about the Bengals. I mean, the Bengals just got outworked the entire game. Joe Burrow 20 for 30, only 165 passing yards. Joe Mixon was kind of silent. Jamar Chase was not open. It was not productive, but he was definitely more open than Joe Burrow ever threw him to. Their defense got outworked. The defense definitely got outworked, and that's been the story for Cincinnati. Meanwhile, for Tennessee, Ryan Tannehill, okay day, not bad. Derrick Henry looked more productive in this game than he ever did this season. Same thing for D Hop, 4 for 20, 63, but 63 is a little bit too low for him, but I'll accept it for now. Fumbles is one thing that keeps Tennessee off of the S tier. It's the fumbles, but their defense did really play well and play good too. So yeah. Next up, we have the Vikings and the Panthers. I'm gonna give the Vikings a B and the Panthers a C. So actually, no, I'm gonna give the Panthers a D. So starting off with the Vikings, Kirk had an okay day, 12 for 19, only 139, 2 picks and 2 interceptions. Alexander Madison, not bad of a day, as you can see in the running game. Receiving, Justin Jefferson was kind of quiet in my opinion. He wasn't quiet, but I thought he was going to put up more numbers than this, especially against Carolina. That's one thing I do worry about this Vikings team. They turn over the ball like almost way too much. And their defense didn't really perform too bad in this game. They got a couple sacks. The defense actually looked good for the first time. Meanwhile, for Bryce Young, not a bad performance out of him either. 25 for 32, 204, but he didn't throw a touchdown or a pick. Carolina's rushing was really rough in this game. That takes a couple points down. Carolina receiving wasn't really that good either, so I had to take a couple points down. Like 2, 1, 2. Yeah, you just can't have that. And they also get a couple points down because they've been kind of careless with the football. But besides that, their defense hung around. I give them a little bit of credit for that, so you guys get it easier. All right, next up we have Vegas and the Chargers. I'm gonna give the Vegas Raiders a C tier, and I'm gonna give the Chargers a. I might go C tier as well. All right, so starting with Vegas, we can just talk about both these two teams together because they both had. Aiden O'Connell really did not really look too good in this game at all. Justin Herbert, I thought he was off to a fine start, but he cooled off at the end. Josh Jacobs had one of his better performances, but it's still not good enough if the Raiders want to continue to win. Well, I wouldn't say continue because they lost, but anyway, Keenan Allen kind of quiet in this game, surprisingly, because the Raiders' defense is trash. Josh Jacobs, even though Devontae Adams was injured during this game, he still pitched in 8 for 75. That's not bad. Turnovers, Vegas, that really killed you guys there. And defensively was almost the same. All right, next up we had the Patriots and the Cowboys, and I think this game was pretty obvious. So this game was just obvious. I'm probably not even gonna pull up this game because it's just pretty obvious. I'm not even gonna pull it up because that game was pretty easy. Next up we have Arizona and San Francisco. I'm gonna give Cardinals a D and San Francisco S tier. And I do want to talk about a couple of things from this game. 49ers, we don't need to talk about the 49ers because they're the 49ers. But the Cardinals, they didn't perform too bad in this game. Joshua Dobbs, 28 for 41, had two touchdowns, even though he did get sacked only once by San Francisco's defense, was actually kind of impressive. Arizona rushing wasn't really that bad either. Arizona's receiving wasn't bad. They did get carries with the football once, but their defense, they hung in there, man. Remember they were down like 16 to 20, something like that. Yeah, they definitely hang around. I give them a little bit of credit for that. All right, next up we have the Chiefs at the Jets, and this was just I don't know. I feel like giving the Jets more credit here than the Chiefs because I expected more out of the Chiefs than the Jets. But yeah, I think we give more credit here to the Jets because even though the Chiefs did win, they did not win in a good way. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna put the Jets in the B tier and I'm gonna put the Chiefs in the C tier. Just because I expected more out of the Chiefs. I did not expect Patrick Mahomes to throw 2 interceptions. And Travis Kelce only have 6 for 60 yards. And their defense kind of got outworked by the Jets defense, as you can see. But meanwhile, by the Jets, Zach Wilson probably had the best performance this year. 20 for 39, 2 interceptions, 2 touchdowns. I'm at with 245. Brees Hall was not that bad, and the receiving wasn't. Receiving was fair. And the last game of the week is the game I'm not even going to talk about. Is it's the Seahawks and the Giants, and yeah, like I mean I'll bring it up, but there's really nothing much to talk about here. If we're being honest, there's just really nothing to talk about in this game at all. This game was just an absolute embarrassment from start to finish. But the one thing the only thing I want to pull from this game is Seahawks defense. You sacked him 11 times. 11 times. You can't win a game if the Giants online is that bad. You can't be getting sacked 11 times. Like, it's just not. Plus, I don't know what the Giants are doing. They haven't won a home game all year. As you can see, they're 0-2. They look bad right now. So we'll see what happens in the future. All right, and that is my week 4 NFL reactions. Make sure you guys come tune in tomorrow for my week 5 NFL predictions. And this is Big B here, side of motivation.com. I'm gonna go get some sleep. So yeah, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you guys so much for watching on this late Tuesday night, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Goodbye, everyone.